Hi, I'm Zaben, and welcome to another episode. We are actually going to continue from the last one with I am free of my addiction to guilt. Here's a quick insight into what addiction means, the definition of addiction. This is what addiction means. This is the definition of addiction. A compulsive, chronic, psychological, or physiological need for a habit-forming substance, behavior, or activity having harmful physical, psychological, or social effects, and typically causing well-defined symptoms, such as anxiety, irritability, tremors, or nausea upon withdrawal or abstinence. Basically, a strong inclination to do, use, or indulge in something repeatedly. Now that we know the definition of addiction, you must understand that addiction is something to be done. It's a behavior, right? A psychological behavior, a state we are in, right? That we are addicted to. We're addicted to do it because it's a pattern. It's something we have been programmed to think that it offers us something good, right? So when you just simply say, I am free of my addictions to guilt, the minute you say it, you feel a certain release and a surge of information coming out. All the ways in which my addiction to feeling guilty starts to show up, right? Because guilt is fear-based, right? Guilt is shame. Guilt is blaming self all the time. You're guilty because you breathed wrong, you said the wrong thing, you looked the wrong way, you reacted the certain way. You're constantly in a state of guilt for how somebody else is feeling, right? It's just because of how somebody else is feeling. Now, this starts from a very young age and in simple forms, right? It could be, it was drastic for you, or it could have been in simple forms. But guilt happens from a very young age. Let's say you don't want to go out with your parents that day. And you're like, I just want to stay home. I don't want to go out. I'm not in the mood to go out. And you're having a tantrum. And then you see that the parent is like in despair, or rage rises. Like you have caused this person that you love to shift from happy to really angry, right? So you naturally take it in as, that was my fault. I caused that person to feel that way, right? And all these examples start accumulating until it becomes a belief. Just a belief you have about yourself, right? How other people feel when you become yourself or have an opinion or choose to do you, how other people feel is your responsibility. So now you walk around with guilt consistently. If somebody feels bad because you said, oh, I don't really like going out, and they're like, but you promised me, and they go into this tantrum, you're like, oh, it's all my fault. It's all my fault. Let me fix it. Let me go out, right? Let me apologize 500 times. Let me make it up for that person. Oh my God, what did I do? I'll never do this again. Guilt, 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 guilt over just being you, having an opinion, figuring out who you are, right? So you keep denying yourself to you for the pleasure of others, right? That's what guilt is. And it's an addiction. Why is it an addiction? Why is there an addiction to guilt? What does guilt provide you with? It provides you to believe that you're a good person, you're kind, you're compassionate, right? Your intentions are good, right? You don't want to hurt anybody else's feelings. So there's an addictive pattern there, right? The minute I can blame and shame myself for how somebody is responsible for their own feelings, I feel better to be the bad person, right? I feel better. I feel better when I do that because that's what you think taking responsibility means, where you are responsible for how everybody else reacts to who you actually are. So then you don't even know who you are anymore because you are privy to how everybody else wants you because you're so afraid of the pain of guilt. You're afraid to be in pain due to guilt. So you are addicted to guilt because guilt relieves your pain because you immediately react to the guilty and you go and take back everything you've said. You swallow it back in, right? You deny that you apologize a million times. You do everything in your power never to do that again. When in reality, those emotions, whoever you are, and however the person in front of you takes it, they are responsible for their own emotion. Meaning, this is really important, really important. If I'm in a restaurant and I'm talking to a friend and I'm in a good place and my friend is in a bad place, and somebody drops by and just is an optimistic person and cuts into the conversation and says, "Hi, it's been a long time. Have you tried those apples?" I will take it as, oh my God, what a friendly person, because I'm in a good mood that moment, right? Or I'm being of service, or something is happening within me. Internally, deep inside, I'll be like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet that person, and they really cheered up this conversation. My friend who's in a bad place won't take it that same way. Same person, same situation. She will take it as, I can't believe how rude, they just interrupted. She'll erupt into rage, see how nobody cares what I think and what I'm doing and why would they do this? And she would rampage there. Not because there's anything wrong with this person, right? It's just because the state she's in is like that. Therefore, she's translating what is happening according to her current state. This person didn't do anything, right? This person did nothing. It's just her perception and my perception at that moment in time were very different of the same situation. Is it making sense? People are responsible for how they react or respond to who you truly are. You are not responsible for that. And it's time to break free of the addiction to guilt, because it's not serving you. It's dimming your light. It's killing you slowly. You don't even know who you are anymore. And it's just an addiction to guilt. Who would you be if you weren't addicted to guilt? If guilt was not your drive or platform anymore, who would you be? Now, this is the solution. Use this mantra as often as possible. And every time you use it, if you have a paper and pen in front of you, write down all the things that you feel guilty for, right? And see what are all the occasions in which you present guilt to the world, right? And how has guilt worked for you? It's very important to see how has guilt worked for you to shift and change it. So the more you use this mantra, the more release you will feel, the more clarity you will get, and you will be freed of guilt. You really will, because you're going to be like, I don't want to be addicted anymore. This is an addiction, right? Because there's a normal guilt. If you kill someone, you steal something, you rage on someone, you'll naturally go and apologize for that. You won't hover in apology for days on end like you would with a narcissist, right? And they'll just keep giving you the silent treatment to punish you or rage back. You'll just apologize, explain your vulnerability, and allow that person to either receive it, take it as they wish or not, but then you're free of the guilt anyway, right? I hope this was helpful. Press subscribe, and if you liked this share, give me a thumbs up, press like, leave your comments. Tell me how this has worked for you, and just in recognizing that you are free of the addiction of guilt because you have been addicted to guilt, how has that already relieved you just by the knowledge and the neurons in your brain shifting and changing as you speak that truth out loud to you? All right, take care, and I'll see you on the next episode.